A manhunt is underway following a hostage situation at Sudumbili near Mandeni on the KwaZulu-Natal North Coast. Police freed a number of hostages at a cash and carry store. The workers were held up by armed suspects earlier this morning. SABC News reporter Simphiwe Makhanya earlier spoke to KZN Police spokesperson Jay Naicker.
At about 4 a.m. this morning, the South African National Police Service here in KwaZulu-Natal were called to attend to what initially appeared to be a hostage situation outside this supermarket. About 10 employees were inside, and later on they were released. But to give us more details in terms of what transpired here, I'm joined by Brigadier Jay Naicker, who speaks on behalf of the South African National Police Services here in KwaZulu-Natal. Brigadier, thank you very much for your time. Was this a hostage situation or not?
Well, Simphiwe, to a certain extent, yes, the staff was being held hostage in the early hours of this morning, because when they arrived for work, they were confronted by 6 armed men who were armed with rifles and firearms. They forced them into the building and they demanded cash from the employees. The suspects then pushed 7 of the staff members into a cold storage facility where they were locked up, and we were then contacted by other members of staff as well as the security company that's looking after this premises, and we were informed that the staff members were being held hostage inside and that the armed robbers are still inside the store because nobody saw them leave at that stage. So we surrounded the premises. We called out the members of the Special Task Force as well as the Tactical Response Team. And during that time, the members the staff that was inside the cold storage facility managed to free themselves. They forced the door open and they managed to free themselves. So they came out, and we were told that there's 3 people that's still inside the store. So when members of the Special Task Force and Tactical Response Team were sweeping the premises, they found the 3 staff members that were hiding in the premises. They also still were under the impression that the robbers were in the store, so they didn't move, they were hiding. We then managed to free them and release them. But we subsequently did a complete search of the premises. There's other shops inside here, and we couldn't find the robbers. From after everything the sweep was concluded, we then viewed the video footage, and from what we could gather is that the suspects left shortly afterwards, after they forced the staff members into the cold storage facilities. We think that they realized the information they had was not correct, and none of the staff members knew where the cash was being held, and it seems that they fled shortly before the police arrived.
Were any of the staff members hurt in this incident, Brigadier?
No, fortunately, no, they were not injured, but they were highly traumatized and they're in shock,
In terms of these suspects, Brigadier, a couple of months ago, there was also another similar incident, a hostage situation in Umbumbulu. Police must be really worried about these crimes that are happening in this province.
Absolutely. We as I said, we're fortunate in this case that we have good video footage of the suspects. We've got our forensic experts on the scene to try and gather much information as possible. Members of our provincial task team are here at the scene, because we're quite convinced that this bunch of robbers it's not their first time, and if they're not caught soon, they could commit a robbery somewhere else. Also concerning is the fact that it seems like they had some sort of inside information, because they were demanding cash from the staff as if they were told that there was cash on the premises. So that is always a challenge that we have, is that they may have inside information.
Did they steal anything from the shop, Brigadier?
From what we could gather at this stage, no, nothing seems to be taken. When they realized that the information or the staff members didn't have any information or any knowledge of where the cash was kept, they fled shortly after that.
It looks like police are still on the scene, combing the scene, Brigadier. What exactly are you looking for now, and will the business be opened by the end of business today?
Well, we can't say for sure. As I said, members of the detectives from the provincial task team are busy on the scene. We have our forensic experts on the scene. So the important thing is now to gather as much information as possible and as much evidence as possible, so that we can still trace the perpetrators and place them behind bars.
Thank you very much for your time, Brigadier.
Thank you, Simphiwe.
That's the police spokesperson here in KwaZulu-Natal, Brigadier Jay Naicker, saying that those 6 suspects are still at large and police are still looking for them. It's back to you in Johannesburg.